Hi everyone, today my group will talk about a topic called A Call from Climate Change. Malaysians wake up. My group members have Wong Yi Ying, Ming Chuan, Uzma Zulaikha, Sylvia Liew, and me, Wong Xian Wan. Do you guys know what defined as climate change? Climate is a long-term statistical expression of short-term weather. Climate can be defined as expected weather. When changes in the expected weather occur, we call this climate change. Which can be defined by the differences between the average weather conditions at two separate times. Climate may change in a different way over the different time scales and at different geographical scales. Through this survey, it aims to investigate whether the respondents are aware of climate change and how well Malaysians understand the topic.
Hypothesis testing. There are two hypothesis testing that we have made in this survey. First hypothesis is male has lower awareness to the climate change issue compared to female. This statement will be our H1, while H0 is male has the same awareness to the climate change issue compared to female. A t-test is conducted by using Excel, and lower t-test is used. Lower t-test say that if t-stat is smaller than t-critical 1 we reject H0, and if p-value is smaller than alpha, we reject H0. Since t-stat value is smaller than t-critical 1 and p-value is smaller than alpha equals to 0.05, we reject H0. Thus, there is enough evidence to prove our hypothesis that male has lower awareness to the climate change issue compared to female. The second hypothesis is people with lower education qualification have lower awareness to the climate change issue compared to the one with higher education qualification. This statement will be our H1, while H0 is people with lower education qualification have the same awareness to the climate change issue with the one with higher education qualification. Assume degree or equivalent and postgraduate group as people with higher education qualification. A lower t-test is conducted. If t-stat is smaller than t-critical 1 we reject H0, and if p-value is smaller than alpha, we reject H0. Since t-stat value is smaller than t-critical 1 and p-value is smaller than alpha equals to 0.05, we reject H0. Thus, our hypothesis that people with lower education qualification have lower awareness to the climate change issue is proved. The awareness level of Malaysians to climate change. Climate change has gradually become obvious over the world in the past few years. Based on the survey we have done, there are 77.4% of the respondents aware of the gradual change of weather in Malaysia nowadays, and 88.7% of the respondents have heard about the word climate change. From the survey that we have conducted, most of the respondents interpret climate change as the significant changes in atmospheric conditions and quality of environment that Malaysians live in, the change in Earth weather, increase in global temperature, and even a payback from Mother Nature to human. All these data indicate that Malaysians are concerned about the climate change and have a clear view and understanding of it. Social media play an important role in spreading the issue of climate change to public, as 79.2% of the respondents responded that they heard about the climate change through internet, 66% through television, and 49.1% through newspaper. Besides, 52.8% of the respondents chose education organizations such as schools and colleges as their source of knowing climate change. There are 94.3% of the respondents treat climate change as a serious issue that might affect their daily life. Based on the data we have collected, we can conclude that the awareness level of the Malaysians to climate change is considered as high.
Next, we will go deep in the cause and effect of climate change. It is widely agreed that the main factor of climate change is due to greenhouse gas emissions, such as methane, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and etc. Thank you to the rapid development of industry, especially in the upstream sector, the rate of emission increases even more since the Industrial Revolution. This statement is supported by the surveys conducted where 96% respondents agree and strongly agree that rapid development of industrial sector contributes the most to the greenhouse gas emission. Rapid population growth has forced uncontrollable consumption of natural sources such as fossil fuels and water. And due to the increased demand of food and goods supply, massive deforestation for agriculture and housing purposes is committed all over the world. 62% of the respondents agree that human activities have significant impact on global temperature rise and claim that human is the main culprit in causing the climate change. Thirdly, improper waste management also contributes to climate change. 77% respondents agree that developing countries shall take the blame for climate change. It is proven that improper waste management in the developed countries, such as Australia and Europe, majority waste from their country is discovered imported to the third world country. Because the lack of financial support in this third world country, they are unable to provide proper waste management plan and system. Thus, massive numbers of waste are accumulated there. The most significant effect of climate change is the melting of icebergs in North and South Poles. That has caused rise in the sea level by 0.2 mm and 4.4 mm each year. This problem leads to risk of small state island from sinking. According to the surveys conducted, 83% respondents agree and strongly agree that the effects of climate change are likely to be catastrophic. Moving on, Malaysia is no exception from experiencing the aftermath of climate change, as the effects are getting worse and worse each year. On the 1st April 2019, a whirlpool was spotted in Penang and Kedah with strong wind nearly 50 km per hour. While every single year, flood has destroyed properties in the coastal region, which caused nearly 3 billion of damage for the past decades. Next, due to the cause of extreme dry condition, fire spread rapidly from forest burning in Indonesia. This has causes extreme haze and air pollution to happen yearly in Malaysia. According to the survey conducted, 94.3% of respondents found that their health are affected from the air pollution that was happening yearly in Malaysia.
Solutions to climate change. Based on the survey we have conducted, 45% of the respondents disagreed on the fact that human activities have no significant impact on global temperatures. 51% of the respondents also believe that everyone can do their part to reduce the effects of climate change. One of the actions that we can take is by carpooling or using public transport to tackle climate change. When fossil fuel is burned in vehicles, greenhouse gases such as nitrous oxide and carbon dioxide are released, leading to greenhouse effect, which in turn contributes to climate change. According to Joint Research Centre European Commission 2019, the emission of carbon dioxide is increased by 1.9% in 2019 as compared to 2017. Therefore, reducing the number of vehicles on road is a great way to reduce GHG emission to the atmosphere. Next, from the chart we can see that 96% of the respondents agreed that pollution from industry is the main cause of climate change. Industry companies should minimize the pollution that is resulted by its operation. One of the ways is by installing thermo-oxidizer to break down pollutants into harmless compounds before releasing to the air. Another alternative method is by optimizing factory operations so that less amount of pollution will be generated. Next, one of the actions government can take to tackle climate change is by having a proper plan in development. Through a proper plan, deforestation can be controlled. Lastly, in the chart we can see that 75% of the respondents agreed that modern lifestyle causes climate change, while 79% of the respondents agree that radical changes to society are needed to tackle climate change. As modern lifestyle encourages the usage of air conditioner and the number of vehicles on road may increase. But this will contribute to climate change. Therefore, we should reduce the usage of air conditioner whenever possible. Walking to work or using public transport instead of personal vehicle is also a great way to tackle climate change.
Self-interest versus environment. Based on figure 4.5.1, it is observed that 54.7% of the respondents have taken action out of concern for climate change. Based on figure 4.5.2, 60% of the respondents disagree to the statement that there is no point of doing anything to mitigate climate change if no one else is. Based on figure 4.5.3, 92% of the respondents think that doing something about climate change is a moral duty. From this survey, we can make a conclusion that majority of the respondents are aware of the current environmental condition and the negative impacts it brings about. They are willing to sacrifice the time and put in effort to resolve environmental issues without placing the self-interest as the top priority. Based on the survey, we have obtained a statistics regarding a list of activities that the respondents do and the reasons for doing so. To sum up, we should put environment as our top priority and ensure that our activities may only cause minimal harm to the environment, even if it brings advantages such as convenience to oneself.